The next thing we want to talk about is using Xmedius to fax a document by printing to the Xmedius Fax printer. The process is really simple. You take any document. I'm going to open up this Excel that I've already created, and I'm going to expand it a little bit and move it over to the page line and move it back down to give me more information to put on the sheet. Okay, now I'm done with that part. The next thing I need to do is print the document. So I go to File, Print, or press Control P, brings you to the same page. And I made the Xmedius Fax printer my default printer, so it would come up right away in my list of printers. Otherwise, I would hit the drop menu and choose the Xmedius Fax printer from my list of available printers. Then once you've chosen that, all you have to do is click Print. And then what happens is the Xmedius Fax Send Fax window comes up, but it doesn't come up highlighted. So you have to bring the window up. And you notice that the document you want to fax comes in as page 2 right behind the cover sheet. Now you have these up-down arrows where you can change your documents, but the cover sheet itself cannot be changed. The position will always be page 1 on the cover sheet if you're using a cover sheet. If you are not using a cover sheet, then the document comes in as page 1, and anything else you insert will come in after that. So let's insert a file. I'll bring this Word doc in. You highlight it, click Open, and it brings that in. Now I've got a 4-page document, and I can change the position of any of these pages by highlighting the page and moving it up or down. I'll move it back up so it's at page 1, and I do want to send a cover sheet. So I'm going to go back and choose my default cover sheet, and again that will stay in page 1. Then you just fill in the required information. The only thing required is the destination, which is your fax number, and either of the to or company name. So I'm just going to fax it to myself. And I'm going to use the subject of test 2 since I've already done a test fax earlier. Okay, now that this information is filled in, you notice the subject automatically puts itself down on the cover sheet. I'll arrow that information over here to move it to the recipient side, and then highlight the recipient so it populates the cover sheet. Then everything else is done. If I need to add more information, I can insert any number of pages as I want by just clicking the paperclip and inserting more files. If I'm done, I just click Send. Submitting fax window comes back up. Once it's gone, or once they were successfully processed, that window disappears, and then you can wait for your inbox to receive the send fax and receive fax notifications. If you're expecting a fax to your fax number, you'll only see the received fax. If you're sending a fax, you'll only see the sent. I'm doing it this way again for demonstration purposes, so you see what the messages look like. Again, it takes about 1 minute to 2 minutes to process, and then you'll receive the notifications. Okay, here are the notifications again. Fax sent, fax received. It's recommended that you don't just sit and wait for your fax sent notification to come through if you're sending out a fax. Typically, you can just go on and do something else. The fax message will come through as it happens. Here it shows the duration 154 seconds. So we're talking roughly 2.5 minutes for that fax to actually have been sent through to the other side, or the receiving fax number. Again, Typically, the cover sheet is in the subject of, or the body of the message, and in the attachment of the sent fax will be the cover page again as a PDF. In the received message, you got fax received. It shows again the cover sheet in the body with the timestamp, and then you open up the PDF and you see that you've got 1 page cover sheet plus 4 pages of fax documentation. That's all there is to it. Next, we'll talk about how you can monitor your faxes with the Xmedius web-based fax monitor.